I just wanted to, every day I want to bring something to the audience that God knows MSNBC is not going to talk about because they're spending an hour looking at the optics. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Sure, all right. I'm glad you're happy. Don't make me CNN your ass. Okay, anyway, just joking. That's 3 times I said that? Oh, and it's not even an hour.
I know.
Okay, we're having too much fun in the studio here this morning. I guess Kathy Griffin is a comedian. There you go. It's resulting in some jokes. Okay, the Paris Climate Control. Let's get serious here. Accords, okay? We're gonna do Brennan in just a minute. We have 2 hours. We're gonna do Brennan. We promise you that. But I want to make a bold statement. I want to go where no man has gone before. On this is big. Now you remember I told you, because obviously I'm wrong, because Hillary said yesterday the bots, which if you don't know what bots are, okay, you can get these bots and they will generate. You can buy bots. Okay, how do you, when you go on Twitter, let me just give you a little bit of background. You go on Twitter and you know, we have generic organic followers on Twitter. So if Fetch Your News has 5,000 Twitter followers, they're organic, they're real followers of Twitter, our Twitter feed, okay? That being said, you go on there and you see some people being followed by 80 and 90,000. Now, am I going to tell you Donald Trump? Am I going to tell you some of the bigger names do not have the 150,000 and Rush Limbaugh and people like that, the million followers? I'm not going to tell you that doesn't happen organically. But you see some of these people and they've got 30,000 followers and they got, they tweet something out and you don't know how they get like 900 retweets. And you're like, how did you get 900 retweets on that? Or how did you get, 10,000 retweets, Because there's a such thing called bots, all right? So for example, I can buy from Russia, yes, Russia with love, I could buy 2,000 bots. Seriously, I can. I can buy bots today, all right? And FYN TV, everything I tweet, the bots will tweet and retweet, and they will send it to other bots that will retweet. And I can make it look like, today I can make it look like I send a tweet out, and I can make it look like with 2,000 bots, all right, I can make it look like 40,000 people retweeted this tweet. Okay? It can happen. It's happening all the time. So Hillary Clinton blames, I'm going somewhere with this. Okay? Hillary Clinton blames the election on the bots. So when you heard about the bots, the Russian bots, she blamed that. She blamed, Facebook. She does not blame, she didn't even visit Wisconsin, didn't even go there. So she does not blame her poor performance. She blamed the DNC. She blamed everybody. And we said earlier, she's soon going to be on the corner. The last person she can blame is she's going to be standing there next to the naked cowboy. That being said, okay, they have to keep the Russian narrative in place. The Paris climate, what I said is, if what Hillary said was true yesterday, which we know is not, then I was totally wrong. I believe rural America came out. I believe I know the voters that went and voted for Donald Trump. I believe I know almost each and every one of you. I believe I could go across this country and bump into people, and I know the Trump voters, okay? That being said, I have told you how many times that I knew Donald Trump would be president of the United States, okay? From the minute he came down the escalator. Remember? How could you not? I remind you like 3 times a week. The minute he came down the escalator. When he went to that podium and he said, Mexico, and they're sending us, they're murderers, I said, oh, there's the president. Okay? All right. Now let's fast forward to today. If President Trump if he comes out at 3 o'clock in the Rose Garden and he holds on to Make America Great Again, and he gets out, okay, of the Paris, Paris Climate Accord, if he gets out, clearly gets out, all right, you're looking, barring health, barring the Democrat success, barring the deep state success, barring the enemy of the state, there's a couple little possibilities. But barring anything getting in the way, if he gets out, you are looking, this is my prediction today, at Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States in 2020. He will serve 8 years. This is how big the Paris Climate Accord is. You see, if he goes, I'm just going to say, if he goes 1 foot in and 1 foot out, all right, a little throwback, if he goes left foot orange and right foot red twister, okay, I've got a concern. Now, his base has been strong. His base has not held him to anything where NATO and some of the other things, okay, no problem. But if he doesn't get out of this, see, you got to understand, the industries of America, know what the Paris Climate Accord is. They know. They don't know all the details. But if Donald Trump stays in, then he basically lied to the coal miners. Okay? He basically lied to the coal miners. Trump is pulling U.S. out of Paris climate control. This comes from Jonathan Swan. President Trump has made his decision to withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord, according to 2 sources with direct knowledge of the decision. Details on how the withdrawal will be executed is being worked out by a small team, including EPA Director Scott Pruitt. They are deciding on whether to a full formal withdrawal, which could take 3 years, or exit the underlying United Nations Climate Change Treaty, which would be faster but more extreme. Okay, so these are some of the things coming out. A website called Vox, quitting the Paris Climate Accord would be a moral disgrace. A moral disgrace. Now you got to understand, I don't have time this morning to do the research and bring it to you. But the Paris, show the group. Here they are. That's the guilty party. They're all there. If you want to look it up, every one of them. This is all of the ones that showed up at the Paris 2015. This is a picture of each and every one. And here is their fearless leader that they just lost. Their spokesperson for the U.S. There's Obama, right? Show Obama there. Pull him up. Okay, there he is at Paris 2015. Now, doesn't Obama look comfortable there in Paris? I mean, knowing the FISA court is after him, knowing he's unmasking Americans, knowing he's, is it the Fourth Amendment? He's violating the Fourth Amendment of American citizens on a daily basis. But I tell you what, he just really looks settled into that Paris thing. That fits him well. So anyway, quitting the Paris Climate Agreement would be a moral disaster. No laid-off coal miner will get their job back if President Trump pulls the United States from the Paris Accord on climate change. No extra oil rigs will sprout in the Gulf. There is no employment upside to an American-first retreat from global leadership on one of the few issues that can actually be described as a potential I ain't trying that one. I'll get it after the break. Threat to mankind. It's over. Coal miners, it's over. There's nothing you can do. Oil workers, it's over. This is a disgrace. This is a moral disgrace to the world. How can we do this to our children, okay? How can we do this to our children? Pull out of the climate change accord in Paris. Pull out of the Paris climate change Accord in Paris on one hand, straddle our kids with $20 trillion in debt on the other. Let's see. Paris Climate Accord, which we will pay for, which will be on the backs of American citizens, which is another way to fleece us financially to take our money. So let's see that. How can we do that to the next generation? Or how can we give the next generation the debt that we've incurred because of some things like this? Folks, Donald Trump, if he does not pull out, has lied to the miners. I hate to be so crude. He's lied to the miners. He's lied to the people, the actual people that went and pulled the lever if he does not pull out. If he stands up at the podium today and tries to explain how he can keep one toe in here and 1 foot over here and keep a hand over here, but still achieve what he wants to achieve, the coal miners, the industries, and you. So you got to understand, last week, they were talking about the optics and what a terrible, it's the worst foreign trip, according to MSNBC, that we've ever had a president take with our allies. It's a disaster. And the reason they're reporting it this way is because the Paris Climate Accord is a mask, okay? Let's unmask it. It is a mask for one world government. It is a mask, okay? Totally a mask for one world government. It's a mask for European countries to dictate to the United States to continue to drain our wealth and put it into the EU. It's a total mask of that. And Donald Trump went over there and said America First policy. And if he pulls out today, Donald Trump will be, if he pulls out today, he will be 2020, he will be the next president of the United States, hands down. Now, I got something to finish on that before I go to break. Trump pulls out, this is from The Hill, Timothy Kama and Devin Henry. Trump pulls U.S. out of Paris deal. What would that mean? Pulling the United States out of the Paris climate deal would have unforeseen consequences for President Trump, his international agenda and U.S. climate policy. It would leave the world's superpower outside an accord meant to reduce greenhouse gases emissions and includes nearly every other country in the world aside from Syria and Nicaragua. Okay, now the reason I wanted to read that, aside from Syria and Nicaragua, every country in the world they're trying to tell you is in this, except Syria and Nicaragua. So MSNBC, Muskrat Joe Scarborough, was trying to compare us to Syria and Nicaragua. He said, oh, Trump wants us to join Syria and Nicaragua. While it is not entirely clear that Trump has made up his mind to end U.S. participation in the deal, sources say that at minimum, he is leaning in that direction. Here's how to interpret and understand his decision, okay? Trump is playing to his base. Trump has called the impact a bad deal for the United States and made withdrawing from it a key component of his America First campaign platform. Now, I'm not going to go any further into that right now, other than Steve Bannon is totally opposed to it. Scott Pruitt, the EPA secretary, is totally opposed to this climate deal. Two things. Donald Trump, if you have not picked up, is totally erasing Barack Obama, okay? Totally erasing, okay? Barack Obama, all right? Now, I know you don't like it when I take a serious subject and get silly, right? And you remember back in the future where, remember that where Marty's family was disappearing, okay? And what he had to do? I know that's silly, right? What they have to do, the comparable is, okay, Trump is erasing Obama as fast as he can. There's nothing Trump, not Congress. Let's get this clear. Let's separate Congress because we're going to bring that out in a minute. Congress is not erasing Obama as fast as they can. That's the House and the Senate. House is doing a little better than the Senate, but Congress itself, they're not rushing to erase Obama. They're not racing to unravel, clean up, and forget about him and try to get the 8 years that the American people have lost in these disastrous deals back. They're not. But Trump is. Let's just say Trump. Forget Republican. Forget Trump. Donald J. Trump is working on a daily basis to erase the 8 years. I don't think Donald Trump ever said anything about Obama that he did not believe. That's going way back. We don't have time to go through the list. I do not think he said anything about Barack Obama that he does not believe. Okay? I think all of the nice talk, that's something he had to do. He had to get through the transition. We've already seen what Obama has done through the transition to try to put things into place to take him down. All right? So he had to get through the transition, folks. All right? He had to get through January 20th. All right? You come in and you tell somebody, look, just relax. January 20th, it's your show. Okay? Anyhow, he's doing everything he can to erase Obama. Not Congress. Okay, not Congress. So, is to make America great again. If he steps up and gets this done, this will be the biggest swipe of an eraser on Barack Obama he possibly can do. All right? Possibly. All right? Now, if he does this today, and I'm going to end with this and go to break. If President Trump pulls out of the Paris Climate Accord today, he will seal, with no unforeseen issues, he will seal 2020. If Republicans do not change immediately, you're going to find out, America, possibly what it's like for Donald Trump to be president in the United States with a Democrat Congress. That's right. You're going to find out. If Trump pulls out of the Paris Climate Accord today, he's president in 2020. All right? If Republicans do not turn around immediately, and get on board, and they lose the Senate, and then maybe lose the House, maybe in 20, you're going to find out what it's like to have a President Donald Trump, okay? A President Donald Trump with a Speaker of the House as a Democrat and the Majority Leader as a Democrat, and then we will find out, right? Promise you, Republicans, get on board immediately or continue the risk. All right. Ossoff, John Ossoff, polls are open. Early voting's well on its way. And we're headed to June 20th. A congressional race, folks, has everything spinning around Russia. The smoke around everything the Democrats have done comes nowhere close to the actual evidence in the fire that the Republicans have, and it will come out. And I'll do everything I can to help it come out. We're going to talk about the subpoenas and why Samantha Powers is important in the subpoena, and why Trey Gowdy. You remember how many times I've played the video and said, this is the day Trey Gowdy finished him off? You know it if you watch this show. I told you. Take us a break, Sam. We'll be right back.